All right, thanks, guys. The Spurs take on the Pelicans. That's going to be a 6 o'clock Eastern tip-off in New Orleans. And at the moment, no line for this game. No line. But anyway, for the record, San Antonio, well, they have DeRozan, Bertans, and Murray out for Saturday night's game. Meanwhile, Aldridge is still questionable with that wrist injury. Meanwhile, on the New Orleans side of things, Anthony Davis and Mirotic are out for the Pels, and Randall is questionable with an ankle on their side of things. Now, San Antonio is 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. New Orleans 6-2 against the spread in their last 8, taking on San Antonio. So regardless of what this line opens up at, probably going to be a pretty tough game to handicap. Once again, there is no line out for this game, but if I had to lean a certain way, I'd probably lean New Orleans outright at home, getting the job done there. All right, guys, let's go ahead and slide into our next game. It is going to be Pacers at the Grizzlies, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Memphis. The Pacers open the betting as the 4-point favorite, and the total at 204.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing a fade of Indiana in the early going here. No surprises there, as Victor Oladipo has been ruled out for the rest of the season. That's bad for the league. That's certainly bad for the Eastern Conference. But anyway, once again, we've seen a steady fade of Indiana in the early going here. We've also seen movement downward on the total as well. No real surprises there, as Indiana lost Oladipo, plus Memphis they've been riddled with unders all season long. So once again, Indiana open 4 down to -3.5. Total open 204 and a hook, down to 204 even. 63% are leaning Pacers. And at the moment, Memphis, they actually have a couple guys on that injury report. Joakim Noah is questionable for that night's game. And also Parsons, Anderson, and Brooks are out. Brooks out for the season. So Memphis a little banged up on their side of things. They're also covering just 16% of their games in the second of a back-to-back. They rank last in the association in home offensive scoring. And speaking of the scoring, Memphis is, believe it or not, 70% to the over. I'm sorry, 70% to the under. Man, I'm really having a bad read right now. Horrible. Probably one of my worst. I don't know what I'm doing either. Anyway, let's try that again. Memphis, 70% to the under in their last 10. 6-0 to the under in their last 6 in the second of a back-to-back. It keeps getting worse. Let's go ahead and take Indiana -3 after buying the 0.5 point and the under 204 in that one. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick timeout. Let's regroup. I just want to welcome you to the show, to the shit show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Saturday's NBA action. Now, right now, it is Friday evening, and we are just finishing up some Friday evening ball games. But anyway, happy Friday to you. I hope you have a great weekend. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at some lines for Saturday night's action. Before we do that, though, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/Brock Page, and I guarantee you that website is a lot better than my current read of this script right now. But anyway, check me out at patreon.com/Brock Page. With a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, you're certainly costing yourself some valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed to that website. Now, memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to just hit that pause button right now and open up your browser. All you got to do is type in patreon.com/Brock Page. It'll only take you a couple of seconds. The link is in the description section below. And if you are a current patron of mine and you're currently watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. And with all that said and done, let's go ahead and jump right back into some more lines and personal leans and stumble through some more of that. Just remember, all starts are Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Warriors at the Celtics, 8:30 Eastern tip-off at the Garden in Boston. Golden State's -2, total up in 230, down to 229. 71% are leaning Golden State, 65% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Celtics are plus $1.10 for some money line cash. Now, if you like Boston at home here, I really can't blame you. But just keep in mind, they're taking on a Golden State team who's been pretty good on the road this year. 16-8 straight up away from home. They're also 9-0 straight up in their last 9. 9-game winning streak for the Warriors. Now, on the Boston side of things, believe it or not, they rank 21st in defensive rebounding. They're also covering just 28% of their games when catching the points. Now, scoring-wise, Golden State's 72% to the under in their games at the current posted total. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the road favorite in this one. Give me Golden State -2 and the under 229 in that one. All right, next game, Sixers at the Nuggets, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off in the Mile High City in Denver. The Nuggets are -9, total up in 224.5 up to 226, and 68% of the consensus is leaning toward the Philadelphia 76ers, and at the moment, the Sixers are plus 345 for some money line cash. Now, the Sixers are without Chandler and Joel Embiid. Both are listed out for that game. And Jimmy Butler's also doubtful with that wrist injury, so I wouldn't look for him to play in that matchup as well. Meanwhile, Denver, 20-4 straight up on their home court, 16-8 against the spread in that same category. They rank first in the association in defensive rebounding. Now, when it comes to the scoring, Denver is 72% to the under in the second of a back-to-back. Give me the Nuggets -9 and the under 226 in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for our NBA slate. We are going to jump into some college basketball as well. Have some really marquee matchups in college basketball. But anyway, next and final game for the show in the NBA segment as we continue this awesome read, one of my best reads I've ever done. But anyway, yeah, I know. Atlanta Hawks at the Portland Trailblazers. 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Rip City. The Blazers are -10.5. Totals 228 and a hook. 65% are leaning Portland. And at the moment, the Hawks are plus 470 for some money line cash. No real need to dive too far into this one. Portland 7-2 against the spread in their last 9, successfully covering the number in 7 out of their last 9. They also rank first in home offensive rebounding. Give me Portland -10 after buying the half a point and the under 228.5 in that one. All right, let's go ahead and slide into some college basketball, and we are going to begin with Georgia Tech at Duke, and that's going to be a noon Eastern tip-off at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Duke's -22, totals 147. 72% are leaning toward the Blue Devils. Now, if you like Duke to get the job done at home, I can't blame you. Cameron Indoor is a very difficult place to play if you're a visiting team. But Georgia Tech has had a slew of great covers so far in the season. They're actually 13-6 against the spread in their 19 qualifying games for the year. They've successfully covered the number in 4 out of their last 5 on the road. Georgia Tech's also ranked 8th in college basketball in defensive field goal percentage. They're covering 88% of their games, taking on teams over 650. Now, on the scoring side of things, Duke is 12-5 to the under in their last 17. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take the road dog in this one. Give me the Rambling Wreck. Georgia Tech +22 and the under 147 in that one. Next game, Virginia at Notre Dame, 1 o'clock Eastern tip-off at Notre Dame. The Cavaliers open 12, down to -11.5. Total open 123, down to 122 and a hook. 63% are leaning Virginia in this matchup here. Now, if you like the Cavaliers on the road, they are taking on a Notre Dame team who ranks 40th in the country in offensive rebounding. They also rank 31st in home free throw percentage. Notre Dame, their last 3 defeats came at the hands of quality opponents. They also came by an average of 4 points per contest. Their average loss was 4 points per contest. They had 3 games, and out of those 3 games, they lost by an average of 4 points per defeat. So they've been playing them real tough. They've been hanging in there, but I just can't vocalize it and I'm hitting the thing. I'm not even drunk. I haven't even drank tonight. I'm hitting the thing and reading this poorly, all these perfectly drawn up notes.